Alright then, so Manchester United back this week in Premier League action, another midweek game, but to be honest, is anyone up for this game as much as they were now? We're out of the title race, the title challenge is over for another season. It is another game at Old Trafford, so we've got to try and look forward to it. It is against Bournemouth, a team on paper that Manchester United should be getting the victory against, but I don't know if that game against Manchester City is going to knock the stuffing out of us. Now the title race is done and dusted, it's going to be quite hard getting up for this game, as much as if we'd won that game we'd have had a lot of confidence going into this one that we could maybe turn the tie around if Manchester City had any more slip-ups sort of quick. But the fact that we've lost that game made ourselves a mammoth gap. It is 12 points because the goal difference is so big. That is just too much to ask, and fighting for second position just isn't enough motivation for a lot of players. Players want to be winning the title, so but we've still got to fight for that second position, cement ourselves in that second position. We need to try our best because Chelsea have got Huddersfield and they should be beating them. There's some other games that teams are probably going to win in and around us. We want to really cement that second place, so going into the new year, if we're 5, 6, 7 points clear, we can maybe concentrate on some of the cup competitions and put the league to the back of our mind. If obviously, unless Manchester City go on and have an absolute collapse, which just isn't going to happen, and we're just too far off the title, but too far to finish to fall any worse than second. So that would be at least a positive that we could then concentrate on some cup competition. So we do need to win this. I mean, there's no I think we will get in the top 4 this year. We've got to get in that top 4, and we have got a little bit of gap over the rivals in the race for the top 4. But that is the main aim, just to hit that second position with a big gap between the others going into that new year after the festive period for me. And then obviously the FA Cup comes around. Hopefully we're in the League Cup still, and the Champions League will come around. So there's still a massive lot to play for. And last season we did fuck the league off for the Europa League, which if we're in 2 or 3 of the other cup competitions, we could well do that again this season. And I wouldn't have a problem with that if we're in 2 or 3 cup competitions, because there is a good chance that we could get far in one, potentially win one again this year. And another 2 trophies this season would be absolutely fantastic. Sir Alex Ferguson always used to say, winning a trophy a season is the main goal, the minimum. And Manchester United could do that this season still. We're definitely a lot better side. There has been a lot of improvements this season. Okay, Manchester City have run away with it this season. They've spent so much money on players. Pep Guardiola's got them playing very, very well at this moment in time, but they're not unbeatable, and they could fall in a cup competition, and they may only win the Premier League in the end, and Manchester United could go on and win a couple of cup competitions and still have a very good season in terms of trophies. So going into this game, he probably will ring some changes. I don't know which changes are going to happen, but he probably will ring a few changes for this game. But we do have that game against Bristol City coming up next week, so I would prefer a bit more rotated squad in that one, to be honest, because it's against a slightly lesser team. Okay, that one may end up being more important because Manchester United could win a trophy there, and there's, apart from second position, not much to play for in the league. So, but obviously David Hare will be in goal. There may be a chance he may, I would presume he would pick Luke Shaw next week. There's talks that he's patched things up with Luke Shaw, Jose Mourinho, and his recent performance was fantastic against CSKA Moscow, so I wouldn't mind seeing him start at left back. Obviously Valencia at right back if we're playing a back 4. Then I don't know, but I think he's going to make changes to the central defenders anyway. He probably will still play Ashley Young on the left, but I reckon that he will probably bring Phil Jones back in for Marcus Rojo, so he will probably partner Lindelof or Smalling in the centre of defence, because Jones was back on the bench at the weekend. Then in midfield, we don't know if Fellaini's back yet. I haven't heard anything there, but if Fellaini's fit, he will probably put Fellaini and Matic in there. Herrera hasn't been hitting the heights this season, and with Pogba out, then we've got to do something in the midfield. Then I don't know if he's going to keep Jesse Lingard in that number 10 role. Probably. I would keep Rashford, Martial out wide, and then it's whether he wants to keep Romelu Lukaku up front as well, because he hasn't been in the best of form lately. He could choose to maybe start Zlatan Ibrahimovic for the first start of the season. I think the best time to start him probably would be against Bristol City, maybe potentially an easier game on paper, that Bristol City one, so that might be the best game to start him, but he could well start him in this one. But I think Manchester United on paper should be winning this fixture. I don't see why we shouldn't. We're at home, so I'm going in with confidence that Manchester United can get the 3 points in this one. Now, probably the main threat is Jermaine Defoe, who's 35 plus, but he did score 2 good goals at the weekend. He hasn't been scoring as many as he did last season for Sunderland, but still is a threat for Manchester United to watch. They've obviously got King, who used to play for Manchester United. He could also be a threat up front. Hasn't scored as many either this season. I think he got about 15 or 16 last season, but hasn't got as many this season. So they're probably the main threats, but I'm going to go for Manchester United winning this game. Hope we can get a clean sheet, and I'd be happy with Manchester United just getting the job done in this one. I'm going to go for Manchester United winning this game 2-0. Let me know your thoughts on this game. What do you think we should do now? Manchester United are almost out of the title, as good as out of the title race. Do you think if we can cement that place in second position and get a gap between ourselves and third place Chelsea, that maybe 5, 6, 7 point gap at any point, which isn't going to be easy? Do you think that Manchester United should then fuck the league off and try and win some of the cup competitions like we did last season with the Europa League? Because if Manchester United were to fuck the league off and then even end up finishing third, if we win a couple of cup competitions or a cup competition, I'd sooner that than finish second, to be honest, because second and third, there's not really much difference. It's only if Manchester United win the league is all I really care about. Or after that, I don't care, as long as we finish in that top 4. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on that. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See ya.